Hey guys, how's it going? So I finally got back from vacation. You know what that means? That's right, new hats. But hey, other than that, a lot of video game news happened over the last 2 weeks. I mean, I made a joke in my unboxing video that replaced the news video last week about, oh man, all this stuff's gonna happen. Well, it did, and let's get into it. Hey, before we jump into the news, I do want to update you guys. If you follow my social media stuff or have seen any of the places I posted, right before my vacation, I was cleaning up my Switch shelf, getting some games for the trip, and my plexiglass Nintendo sign fell off and landed straight on my head like a guillotine. When it happened, I was like, it kind of hurt, of course. Put my hand on my head, looked down at my hand, covered in blood, and then I feel the blood run down my face. Yeah. And anyway, I had to go to the urgent care with my wife, and I had to get 8 stitches in my head. They wrapped me up. I looked like a ninja because you have your face mask because of COVID right now. And man, that was the start of my vacation. I'm all better now. I've secured the sign better to my shelf, so it should never fall off again. And also the stitches are currently removed. But hey, thanks for everyone who reached out and said, hey, get well and everything. Because I'm definitely good to go. But anyway, let's jump into the news. The first thing we absolutely have to talk about is the Xbox Series S and Series X. Now, a lot of people are kind of thinking there was supposed to be an event maybe this week, but 2 weeks ago, of course, the week of my vacation, when I was not here to report on it, the price leaked, and then it got confirmed. Now, the final pricing is in for Microsoft systems, and that is going to be $499 for the Xbox Series X, and $299 for the Xbox Series S. I mean, that is like so cheap, it's unreal. Pre-orders are also confirmed to be going up September 22nd, so if you're interested in that particular console, you're going to want to be ready with your favorite retailer, either doing it via online or in-store, and hop on that because it's going to be hard to get any of these next-gen consoles come the holiday season. Now, one thing to think about, if you're a digital person, which obviously I'm not, but if you're a digital person and you have your Xbox One, I'm talking like the original VCR model, old school Xbox One, we already know that these new consoles for Microsoft are going to be backwards compatible with previous consoles. Now, if you're planning on getting the Series S for $300, your disc collection for your Xbox One is going to be pretty useless. Well, GameStop is actually running a deal where, of course, they're trading in all consoles for credit, and one thing that really stuck out to me is the original Xbox One, they're giving $100 for, and that's without games. So if you're saying $100 off, you're jumping into next gen. You could buy the Series S, jumping into next gen at $199, $200. Cheaper than a Switch to jump into the next gen console if you're a digital person. Once again, if you're planning on doing that and you want to trade in your games too, I mean, you're not really going to have much use for them on the Xbox Series S anyway. So I think that's a good deal. If you're one of those digital only people, it probably is not a bad plan. Other than that, if you have an Xbox Series X, you could trade that in, or One X. God, their names are crazy. You can trade that in for more credit, of course, and throw that onto the Series X, and then you can keep your physical library. So, are you guys planning on getting this console? Are you planning on pre-ordering on the 22nd? And if so, are you planning on trading in your old console? Because it seems like with Microsoft, that might be the way to go, mainly because they're completely making this generation obsolete. But now, this week, we have PlayStation jumping in. Now, PlayStation, I just watched the event as of recording this, like it just happened, and wowie zowie. A bunch of rumors that kind of came out came to fruition, and the price was unveiled, and the pre-order date was unveiled. I'll go ahead and start with the pre-order date now, because you're watching this on Saturday or later, and the pre-order date actually, select retailers started the day after the event, so the 17th, so basically Thursday. So if you haven't already pre-ordered it and you're looking to, last Thursday it started, and go ahead and jump on board. That being said, the pricing is very interesting. Now, the physical edition is the same price as the Series X, $499. I had a suspicion that it was going to be the same and figured if they really wanted to hurt Microsoft, they would try to do $450. Obviously that didn't happen, but you know, what are you going to do? Now they're the same price, so I guess it's a little bit trickier. And then the digital version is only $399, so basically you're saving $100. I don't think the decision is as hard to make with PlayStation. If I'm going the PlayStation route, even though obviously I would always get a physical version, I think just the regular, purchaser out there should probably go with the physical version because, I mean, it's only $100 difference. With Microsoft being a $200 difference, that is compelling enough to say maybe I should go digital, but to get the optical 4K Blu-ray drive for just $100 and then, it's more future-proof, I think. It's almost like not even a choice with PlayStation, in my opinion. But what do you guys think down below? Let me know. Other than that, though, we actually had a lot of other stuff happen during the event. The first thing, the big thing that caught a lot of people by surprise, although there were rumors about it, was Final Fantasy 16. Now this looks a lot darker, a lot grittier. It's really cool too. So if you are a Final Fantasy fan, you know that they always have the art is that beautiful, beautiful kind of watercolor art, and always kind of tells you more to the story than you'd think. One thing I always thought was really great was if you look at the original art for Final Fantasy IV, which is my all-time favorite, I have a whole video on every copy I have of that game, it shows Kain prominently rather than Cecil. You'd think the main character being a Dark Knight seeking redemption and becoming a paladin, it'd be more focused on him, but it shows Kain, which really, if you played the game, I'm not going to spoil it too much, this kind of is more of a redemption story for him. I mean, he has some stuff going on. And then another cool thing is the DS version of that same game is Golbez, who also has this big redemption arc. So all that is to say is the art tells a lot. And the art for this game is very cool. It's summons, and it is Phoenix versus Ifrit. I don't know what to expect there. If you watch the trailer, which I've been playing this whole time, it's very crazy. I mean, it has this kid who looks like he's the embodiment of Phoenix, but then also the spirit turns into Ifrit and some huge battle unveils. Like I said, it looks real dark, real gritty. It looks like they are also using the Final Fantasy VII / Final Fantasy remake and Final Fantasy 15 kind of engine of more of an action RPG style. That's the feel I'm getting here. But that was the big thing for me. And then one thing that, this is a heavy hitter. That is PlayStation exclusive. Now, it does say that it is going to be available also on PC, but it is a console exclusive for PlayStation, which is a major blow to Microsoft, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of RPG fans out there, and Sony obviously had to pay for this exclusivity, but more than likely, they also made the argument of, hey, in Japan, no one owns an Xbox. That's where your big fan base is for RPGs. Here's some extra cash. Why don't you make this a console exclusive? Some other games they showed, I'm just going to kind of say some here's and there's. They had a big gameplay thing for the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales. They showed a whole lot of Demon Souls. It's kind of funny though. In the trailer for Demon Souls they had this guy run around and just offing regular ads like they were nothing. And then he gets a boss and he just gets wrecked. It's man, where'd all your skill go? I'm not saying that that's not what happens in the game, but you could totally tell the player who was playing that was way more skilled in the beginning. And in the end, he just literally just stood there and got wailed on. I thought that was very strange. Another thing they announced, though, which is kind of, I think, a way to combat the Game Pass that Xbox has, is this, PlayStation Plus thing for PS5, where it's hey, here's all the big games of last generation. You're going to get them, presumably for free. I guess, really, it's not free. It's part of the Plus subscription. But, I mean, they had some really, big games. I mean, Bloodborne, Battlefield 1, Monster Hunter World, God of War. I mean, Detroit. It's here are the big games of last generation, so you're not missing out, and they're going to be available day one, good to go. So that was kind of neat. Of course, they had some other, here's Fortnite, and here's this, here's that. They showed a little bit more of Resident Evil 8, which was kind of nice. And other than that, you know, it was kind of a tight, compact little thing. The main draw, of course, was showing the price, and the other thing that they did show very briefly was a teaser for God of War. I assume it's going to be called Ragnarok. They said basically Ragnarok is coming, but the new God of War, and they threw the date 2021. I will say this, no games they showed, besides stuff that already exists, like older things, have a launch release. They all say either holiday or 2021. No dates were given, not a one. And you know, one thing, myself included, that I was assuming, that a lot of people were assuming was that Spider-Man was going to be a launch title. Technically, we don't know that. It's, you know, it just says that it is a holiday release. So I don't know. All I know is next year, we're definitely gonna, according to the past things we've seen from Sony, which everything can change, we're definitely getting God of War, and we're definitely getting Horizon Zero Dawn, possibly getting Ratchet and Clank. So a lot of good games are in the pipeline and coming out soon, but you know, nothing currently has a date. What do you guys think? You know, I know earlier I talked about the Xbox, but are you planning on getting the PlayStation? And by now, have you already pre-ordered it? Another game that Sony showed that I wanted to kind of keep separate is actually that Hogwarts game that got leaked last year. All we saw was like a little bit of gameplay and didn't know much of it, but it looks like it's going to be kind of a full RPG style Hogwarts Harry Potter universe game where you make your own character, make your own story, and kind of go through the school as if you were your own wizard. I think that's pretty cool, and the thing I think that's even cooler about it is it actually looks like a game that my wife would play. It looks fantastic. I mean, the graphics look amazing, obviously. And you know, I don't know if they're gonna go like a good side, bad side kind of thing. Like, could you join the Death Eaters? You know, who knows how the Sorting Hat will work. I'm really interested to know more about this game. It did not say it was exclusive, so I think it's probably fair to say that this game will likely be coming out on Sony and Microsoft's next-gen consoles. But what do you guys think about this game? Because I particularly wanted to pull this one out because it's something I'm personally excited for. And it wouldn't be video game news if we weren't talking about Nintendo also. So the first thing I want to talk about with Nintendo is they have new Nintendo Switch online offerings. One of which is Donkey Kong Country 2. It's awesome because the day it was announced, I was literally playing Donkey Kong Country 2. So I was like, oh man, perfect timing. Another game they put on there is like the Mario Picross game, which a lot of people are really big fans of that series. They also have a beat 'em up called the Peacekeepers, and last but not least, for the regular Nintendo NES online portion, they have you know, it's that kind of platformer beat 'em up shooter, whatever you want to call it, Cyber Command Attack something or other. You'll know it as SCAT because nowadays it's actually a good joke name, but it's actually a pretty good game, so definitely want to check those out. Now, this is a weird thing. Currently, as of recording this, it's not out yet, but I will be playing while this is uploaded, the new Mario 3D All-Stars. Obviously, I am pumped for this game. I know a lot of people are having all kind of backlash. They're not doing enough for it. And trust me, we're going to go over it here on the channel. You know, let me sit down and play it myself before going into that. But one thing that's very interesting, all of the controversy aside, is apparently all three games are emulated. And now that actually made a lot of people mad because they're like, okay, this wasn't built from the ground up, this was emulated. But I'm thinking 3 steps ahead. If they're all emulated, that means that they're playing on a N64 emulator, which is, I believe, the same one that that Nintendo of Europe used. They're using a GameCube emulator and then some form of Wii emulator, which is probably much easier because that was kind of more current. But what does that mean for future downloadable games? You know, so this game actually leaked out already before the launch. So as of recording this, it's not officially out yet, but it is out there. And a lot of people said that in the file for the emulator, they actually had several N64 games. Likely, it was probably like with the PlayStation Mini, where those are the games they used to test the emulator and nothing more. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, these games are coming out. They're going to be Nintendo Online, but likely they were just used to test the emulator because they're a very varied amount of games, different genres and everything, to really kind of put it to its paces. But that does lead me to wonder, you know, we've all been speculating that eventually they're going to have Nintendo Online 64, Nintendo Online GameCube, or at least we all want these things. But now there is an emulator built into this game that works on the Switch, so we know it's doable. I mean, now there's no question that it can be done. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to be seeing these games on the Switch online service? And if so, second follow-up question, do you think they're going to raise the price? Because $20 a year is very cheap if they also throw in 64 and GameCube games in the future. So up next we had the Nintendo Indie Partner Showcase number 3, and man, this one brought it around. A lot of people were kind of a little upset with the first two. I covered them on the channel, I thought they were alright. But this one had some games that I personally cared about, and I think a lot of people are caring about. The first thing they shot off with is 2 new Monster Hunter games. Monster Hunter Rising and Monster Hunter Stories 2. Now, I never played the Monster Hunter Stories series, but this Rising one looks really awesome. Monster Hunter World really kind of turned me around, got me playing that game again, and this has a lot of like vibes of that game. They're gonna have a regular edition, of course, at $60, a deluxe edition with some DLC content at $70, and they don't have any pictures of it yet, but from the Capcom PR thing, we have a $100 edition that comes with a special amiibo of the like game's like headlining dragon that they show in the trailer. Other than that, they showed a few more other stuff. They have Disgaea 6 is coming out, and that's going to hype a lot of people up because Disgaea is a pretty big series. I've personally never dipped into it, but it does seem very cool. Rune Factory 5, another game that a lot of people were hyped about. The one thing that really stood out to me was the that BALAN game, like the Knights game that I talked about on the channel a while ago. They showed a lot of gameplay for that, and that's coming out next year, so I'm super pumped for that. One last thing they showed that is of note is it looks like I Am 8-Bit is doing an awesome Ori physical collection for the Ori games for the Switch. So very cool, very cool. All that stuff is really neat. So I mean, you know, it's been a really big week for really all 3 major consoles. Hey, quick update. I know I already talked about this earlier, but a lot of stuff has changed since I recorded that part. Man, PS5 is making a lot of people pissed off right now. First and foremost, they, I said earlier, like, oh, hey, the next day they're putting up pre-orders. No, they did it like an hour after I recorded that. I was talking to some friends who work at a GameStop, and they found out with like 30 minutes notice. Of course, they sold out immediately. Everywhere online crashed and sold out immediately. And a lot of people are really pissed off because of 2 things. One, if you look at the like old interview with Jeff Keighley, you know, they were like, oh yeah, the PlayStation, we're not gonna make you run out and have to, you know, like pre-order it, like, you know, real quick, real under the gun. We're gonna let you know you're gonna have time, you're gonna know a date, which was a lie, obviously. And another thing is like a week or 2 ago, they set up that system where you would get an email from PlayStation. Basically, you sign up, the pre-order for the pre-order kind of thing. I made a big joke about it. That didn't even happen. They did not email people. They're just like, yeah, whatever, it's out, have fun, battle. And man, not many people have gotten the opportunity to pre-order this console. They're already up on eBay for, you know, like thousands of dollars now. Pre-orders from Walmart especially have been canceled. Like, people who did get pre-orders have now been canceled. And that's not even the end of the controversy. Like, I'm not mad about this because I'm all about backwards compatibility and crossplay. I mean, I think you guys know that by now. But a lot of people are really upset because of another lie. PlayStation basically said, hey, you know, PS5, you know, we're not going back. Not like Xbox. Xbox is like, hey, we want to be all encompassing. PlayStation was like, no, you're getting a PS5, you're getting it for PS5 games, and we're only looking forward. And they did not make this clear on any of their commercials. You basically have to look up this information. But the new Horizon game and the new Spider-Man game are both backwards compatible. There's going to be a PS4 version, pretty much. And a lot of people are pissed off because they're all like, okay, you did not tell us this information. You basically lied to us. So I just thought I need to throw this update in there. I really, you know, take with it what you will. How do y'all feel about this, in fact? Let me know in the comments down below, because, man, like, a lot of people are super pissed. So this was a busy day of catch-up, so I'm just going to make this question to y'all maybe a little quicker. You know, we're down to the wire now. If you got a PS5 pre-order, awesome. And the 22nd is when the Xbox pre-order happens. So my question today is which one, if you're only ordering one, which one are you trying to pre-order, or did you go ahead and get a PS5? Were you one of the lucky ones? Let me know in the comments down below, or you know, maybe for this question we'll make it hypothetical, and let's just say in a perfect world where pre-orders were not like limited for whatever damn reason, which one would you have gone for? That's gonna do it for us today, guys. Hey, once again, thank you for watching the news video. We're getting up there in subscribers, going up to 3,000, so please subscribe if you haven't, and leave a like or dislike, and hey, as always, take it easy.